and take the blood.
Come on, Bishop.
And sprinkle it over the doorpost. And I'm going to send the death angel through the land. And when the angels see the blood, it's going to pass over. And every house that does not have that blood over the doorpost, the firstborn is going to die.
All right.
And so when they celebrate the Passover feast, they're remembering how their ancestors came out of Egypt. Because they had the blood over the doorpost. And I want to serve notice on you today.
Come on.
That if you don't have the blood, you're going to be in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Your fine car won't do it.
Well,
your fine home won't do it.
come on, Bishop.
Your fine job won't do it. Your good looks won't do it. The only thing that's going to save you
Yes, sir.
is the blood. If you're here today and you don't have the blood, I recommend that you get acquainted with Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Because we're living in the last days. Any moment now, he could come back.
Yes, sir.
Don't let him catch you.
Oh,
Your work's undone.
preach, Pastor.
Hallelujah. The second reason why there was such a crowd in Jerusalem was because they heard about Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Now, during his 3 years of ministry here on the earth, he had already raised a couple of people from the dead. You remember Jairus' daughter that was sick? And he went to Jesus and said, I want you to come to my house and heal my daughter.
Well,
And on his way, one of his servants came to him and said, don't bother him no more. Your daughter dead. And Jesus said, she's not dead, she's just sleeping.
yes, sir.
And he went on to Jairus' house. And they were gathered around that bed, weeping and moaning and crying and going on. Jesus said, she's not dead, she's just sleeping. And some of them made fun of him. And you know what he did? He put all the doubters out of the room.
Come on, Bishop.
You see, Jesus don't deal with doubters.
Well,
Whether you believe he's Lord anyway.
yes, sir.
That's right.
And he don't deal with doubters. He put them all out.
Now.
Took this daughter by the hand and raised her up.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. And then we have the widow, mother that lost her son. And they was on their way to the cemetery.
Well,
And Jesus interrupted that procession. He went there and he touched that coffin
yes, sir.
and said to that young man, rise. And this young man got up.
Yes, sir.
But when he raised Lazarus from the dead, it was a different situation.
Yes, sir.
Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. Mortification had set in. The body had begun to decay.
Yes, sir.
But he went down to the graveyard
Yeah.
and said, roll
The stone.
the stone away. And he looked up to his father and he began to pray. And then he called Lazarus.
Yeah.
Theologians tell me that if he hadn't called him by name, all the dead folk would have got up. But he said, Lazarus. And you know, I believe he called him more than one time.
Yes, sir.
I believe Lazarus was in a deep sleep.
Sleeping good.
And you know how it is when you got children, and you know the next morning, and you call them, time to get up to go to school, and you say, all right, Nancy. Nancy, open one eye. Then fall back to sleep.
Yeah.
Then you got to go back and call them. Now I had to do Marshall like that. You go back, call them again. Hey, it's time to get up. Okay, I'm getting up. They'll throw the cover back, then they'll fall back. You don't hear no movement. And when you call them that third time, you mean business. I said, get up. Don't let me have to come in there and get you up. They'll jump up in. They're marching or act marching. Yeah.
Tell it.
So I believe he called Lazarus.
Yeah.
About 3 times.
And that third time?
Said, Lazarus. Lazarus' eyes came open. He said, hush. Somebody's call him a name. Then they called him again, Lazarus. I believe Lazarus jumped up. Then he called him 3rd time, Lazarus. Lazarus leaped out of that tomb. Hallelujah. And you know the reason why he was leaping out of the tomb?
Come on, Kelly.
It's because back then, they didn't bury you in no 3-piece suit. They wrapped the body in cloth. And he couldn't move. So he had to jump out of the tomb. But I heard Jesus say, loose that man and let him go. Now that's the reason why we had all this crowd in Jerusalem. They had never heard of that before. A man been dead for 4 days, and they called him back to life. They said, we got to see that man.
Yes, sir.
Now, as I was reading that story, you know, I said, now if I were to go down to J.C. Kirby,
Well,
walk into that room, you know, where they had somebody been dead since Monday, and I was to go in there and call them back to life, you know what would happen? Before I get to South Lee Street, all the news media from all over the country would be on South Lee Street. I couldn't get home, they'd be everywhere. We want to see that man that raised somebody from the dead. That's the reason they went to Jerusalem. They never heard of it before. So we got to go and see that man that can call the dead back to life. But as Jesus headed towards Jerusalem, he was accompanied by an enthusiastic crowd.
All right.
A crowd of Passover pilgrims. Jesus, who was riding a donkey, was received like a conquering king. Now in the Bible days, when the leader of a country would go into another country, they would ride a donkey. Because this represented peace.
All right.
They coming in the name of peace.
All right.
But if they were going to attack another country, they would ride a horse.
Yeah.
That means that they were coming